Squatters, salute. I want us to quickly dwell into something very quick. Ngizoba short, I promise. Kunalento ebizwa i-conspiracy theory, right? Conspiracy theory is when there's some sort of truth hidden, and maybe happens to be known by a certain organization or what. Ngiyanhlebela ke manje. Ngiyanhlebela. And then now, makunendaba, let's say maybe an accident happens, right, to a prominent person, and then people come back later and say, but there are conspiracy theories there and there. You know what they mean? They mean ukuthi that accident could not have been an accident, but something which was planned to happen. Accident, remember, is an unplanned event. No one expects a tire to burst on their car, right? And then suddenly the tire burst, and then you happen to be in an accident. But if they say there is a conspiracy theory, maybe somebody has loosened your bolts, your nuts on your tire, then that's conspiracy theory. So now, if we talk about prominent people, right? Let's say our politicians, uzozwa most of the time when they speak about maybe their death or something like that or whatever. There's a whole lot of them, by the way. They will always say there are conspiracy theories, which means ikhona into enga understandeki based on their death. Yabona? I don't like putting my analysis, especially on a deeper history of our country, publicly, because we have South Africans who are still stuck, who are still stagnant and don't want any new, fresh analysis. They are still stagnant on Google. As long as fundile and Google uqedile done, and then Look, guys, squatters, I'm someone who connects the dots, who analyze. I'm that person who always try to knock something in my head. I like thinking. I'm a thinker. And when I think, I analyze. When I analyze, I get what I want. Oh, okay, this is what happened. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, from here to this point, from here to that point. In South Africa, by the way, the longest serving person in jail, like the person who is the longest serving in jail that I know, if you ask me now, is Japhta Masemola. Not Abanye. I don't know. I don't want to comment about Abanye. It's Japhta Masemola. Japhta Masemola was a teacher because, remember, during the Apartheid era, black people were allowed to only be teachers, nurses, these useless things that you can't really make real money. You couldn't be a lawyer or a medical doctor. There were only few black people who could push to that, right? So, Ubabu Japhta Masemola, by the way, Naplomako Atcheville is the co-founder of PAC, by the way. Nabu Babu Robert Sobukwe. Babu Robert Sobukwe Tiwa, he died from lung cancer and what. There are also conspiracy theories on that. I don't want to talk about that because bazoti futi qalile manje squatter yabo. So Ubabu Japhta Masemola spent 27 years in jail. It's there on Google. I know people who will say, you lying. They like Google. They will run to Google and find it. Now, let's get to the point. He was released in 1989 in jail. 1990, Kona enye I don't want to get into details, but M16, ile zama British leziya. So 1990, he was involved in an accident. There are conspiracy theories also. The same as Ubaba Krizani, Comrade Krizani. Janus Walus failed to disclose who sent him, because that was an assassination, right? In 1993, by the way. He failed to disclose who sent him to assassinate Ubaba Krizani. He failed. He's on parole now. Who took Janus Walus out of prison? The same Ramaphosa. Where was he in 1993? Mandela. So, now, if you talk about the president of Mozambique who died in a plane crash, there are conspiracy theories also. All our comrades, these are the people who would have liberated us, not the ones that are running around with convoys. As was claimed. Samora Machel was the president of Mozambique, Frelimo. He was from Zambia. Conference from Zambia, going back to Maputo, Mozambique. The plane that he was boarding in, there were 43 people there. 33 people died. 10 survived. Where are those 10 people? Okay, let's not talk about that. The plane was from Zambia to Maputo. The accident happened in Mbuzini, Komatipur, Mpumalanga. Bifunani plane there. What was the plane doing there? Okay, let's not go deeper because I will confuse people now. So we are together. History is cool when we document these things, and so that our kids and grandkids can see, oh, okay, whatever. It's over Caesar for them to know, not good, but there's something they can do, whatever. That plane crashed in Mbuzini. Mbuzini, Komati Port, is in South Africa, in Mpumalanga. From where the plane crashed, there was a camp there. The soldiers were camping there. Samora Machel was removed from the crash and he was put in a body bag. In a body bag. So painful because our African leaders have died fighting for us. And yet we don't know exactly what has happened. What I can tell you, Uti, there's no smoke without fire. That's number one. Number two, some of the politicians know exactly what happened. This thing. When Samora Machel died, there, who was the Minister of Foreign Affairs? Big Border. Big Border was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. F.W. de Klerk died. He passed away. May his soul rest in peace, by the way, with all the secrets. So he refused at the TRC to come out clean, tell the truth. Why ANC? Because PAC was formed in 1950 something there. I can't remember exactly there. It was a breakaway from the ANC, because ANC was agreeing to certain things that the PAC, the Robert Sobukwe did not agree with the ANC and say, we're going to form PAC now. You guys are taking another route now. So ANC, in short, is not a liberation movement. It's a sellout movement. For them to be in government, they had to sell out some of their comrades so that they can be in government. All the ANC people that you see, and itself, ANC, is a sellout party. It's not a liberation movement. Here in South Africa, a liberation movement could have been PAC, Pan-Africanist Congress. But the apartheid government made sure they oppress it. Arrested Robert Sobukwe, arrested Japhta Masemola, put them in prison, solitary confinement or incarceration, whatever, so that they can regain control. They can regain control and make sure that Utaki. I mentioned something, by the way, my previous episode. Uguti, the apartheid government did not want apartheid to end. They were forced. They were under a tremendous pressure because the guerrilla war, the military wings, they were ready to collapse the state, apartheid government. They were ready. And Russia said, we can give you arms and ammunition. Vladimir Putin said, I can give you arms. If those guys are giving you problems, I can help you to sort them out. This is the reason why our comrades who were honorable, who were loyal, went to exile to train. Young age, to train there in the exiles. Abu Comrade Krizani and the likes, you can count many of them. So the issue of our history, Sika Pezu. So Sika Pezu. That's why initially when I started to talk, I said the person who spent 27 years in jail that I know, Mina, Japhta Masemola. Very, very revolutionary. You can do your research. You're welcome. You'll find the same thing. Come to the same conclusion. So, for them, in the CODESA negotiations, Nelson Mandela left his comrades and say, hey, I'll go alone there. I will tell you what's happening. Give me all your queries and everything. I will let you know. And he came back with a raw deal. He came back with a raw deal. Then the comrades said, this one is not going to work. This one is not going to work. Some they sold out. Some they said, yeah, What happened to those who didn't agree? Yeah, it's politics. So, when we talk about politics, we're talking about an elephant in the room. That is why I said there's no political party that will liberate people. It's a fact. It's a fact. Politicians are crooks. They will never liberate anyone. Black people must stop pinning their hopes on politicians. They are sitting on top of secrets. They smile during the day. At night, they are heartless. They have meetings behind closed doors. So, You talk about politics, you should know exactly what you're talking about. Politics is a very dirty game. That is why comrades like Abu Msholozi had to be forced to be outside there, wherever he traveled, you know. Tutuzile Zuma and Tutuzane Zuma were born in Mozambique. By the way, they can, Tutuzane, I know exactly about Tutuzane. He can speak fluent Portuguese, because in Mozambique there's no English. That country was captured by the Portuguese. So that is why they speak Portuguese. He's very fluent because they grew up there, but they are South Africans. They were forced to go there. People who were in struggle, they understand. They know exactly. So it's naiki peso, because there's a whole lot that we really, really need to pay attention as citizens, South Africans, you know, to now start to, you know, utule like it manch. Apartheid ayiseko, there's no Dompas, there's no Chisampam, there's no Scopen Donor, there's no Donderdag. Then we can think now and refresh and say, hey, Kotwa, what happened? When did it happen? Who was where? Doing what? What role did they play? CODESA was just a road deal, just a plate of Papa Namautuana for black people would take. That's why Comrade Krizan said, this is not what we want. And the others. We talk about the TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It didn't serve any purpose. It's the same as the Zondo Commission, a very useless and futile exercise, of which in a democratic dispensation we should have at least reached somewhere. It was not actually necessary. If you ask me now, was it necessary for the Ramaphosa government to institute a Zondo Commission and whatsoever now? That's why by Bizange Kamalaki, it was not state of capture, it was Zondo Commission, because it belonged to Zondo and Ramaphosa. These two gentlemen was spent 1 billion. No benefit, nothing. No prosecution, nothing. Because there was nothing to start with. If you really wanted to investigate the issue of the Guptas, you should have started during the Mandela era. Bebe no Mandela. Bebe no Thabo Mbeki. Thabo Mbeki has never been questioned until today. What was he actually doing with the Guptas? No. Angiti is holy. He's an economist, he's educated, he's respected anyway. Even Julius Malema said to Uti, they used to be too scared to talk about anything. You wouldn't criticize Thabo Mbeki during his tenure there at the ANC. My ANC by then was at 67%, somewhere there. But no one asked Uti, what was actually Thabo Mbeki doing with the Guptas? We understand the issue of Mandela. Mandela is late. Now with Thabo Mbeki, they are chasing Uzuma. That's why I don't agree with, why do you chase this one? You don't chase this one. Lo agana scandal. Ye Uzuma, ukorrupti, uchonche imali, working country. Have you seen Thabo Mbeki's house? Go there and see his White House there. White bodyguards from the gate, white bodyguards. How much are they earning? State resources. The house itself. Abutai kuzohlala kwenyindlu na 12 bedroom. Kotulala a room in A1. You are sleeping in 1 bedroom, but you've got 12 bedroom, 13 bedroom, 15 bedroom. Huh? Then you want to say, when you promote Africanism, but when I look at politicians, I laugh, because they've got nothing for us. They are just pretentious in our faces. They've got nothing. By the way, you can unsubscribe, like, hit that notification bell, We still continue to share, man. I mean, I'm a very curious guy. Believe yonke into ngishoyo. It's just for food for thought for you to digest, and then uzicabanga uzikhuphule kahle. Squatter Camp, thank you for your support. Thank you to all the subscribers and people who are watching my content. Thank you, South Africa.